Hi, everyone. Welcome to our channel. Colonel Douglas Macgregor expressed gratitude for the long-standing acquaintance, reminiscing about their past interactions spanning several years. Macgregor recalled their initial connection during his tenure at Fox, hosting a show where the Colonel made appearances as a guest. Despite the eventual discontinuation of the program, their friendship endured. Macgregor acknowledged the Colonel's continued support upon his transition to a new show titled Judging Freedom, following the closure of Freedom Watch on Fox Business. Reflecting on the success of their former program, Macgregor noted its high ratings, but attributed its cancellation to political pressures within the network. Despite the challenges, Macgregor emphasized the enjoyment derived from the experience and expressed appreciation for their mutual friend, Ron, who facilitated their initial meeting. I was born in Newark, N.J., on June 6, 1950, to first-generation Italian-American blue-collar parents. His father, who served in the United States Navy during World War, I married his mother upon returning in 1948. They've been childhood friends since the age of 4, born just 3 days apart in November 1925. His father, embodying an Italian-American version of the American dream, held 2 jobs throughout his adult life in the Navy and later at New Jersey Bell Telephone Company, which became Verizon. He had a deep passion for electronics and eventually became a teacher of the subject for corporate executives. His mother, despite having only a high school education, instilled in him a love for books and a strong appetite for reading, as she did with one of his brothers. He attended the same public high school as his parents, where he played football and had many of the same teachers. Winning a full scholarship to Princeton University, he worked his way through law school at the University of Notre Dame while attending bar and waiting tables. After law school, he practiced law in Newark with a large Wall Street-style firm, but found himself drawn to trial practice in the courtroom. Getting involved in Republican politics in New Jersey, he eventually caught the attention of the governor, who sought a young individual with an ethnic last name, an Ivy League education, and a conservative leaning to serve in the judiciary. His first appointment came from Governor Tom Keene, followed by a lifetime appointment from Christine Todd Whitman, both moderate Republicans recognizing the need for conservative voices on the bench in New Jersey. On the bench, he experienced a significant shift in his ideological stance, transitioning from conservatism to libertarianism and placing a strong emphasis on individual rights. He authored essays titled Taking Rights Seriously, reflecting his belief that the Constitution should be interpreted literally. This change didn't sit well with some who had appointed him to the bench, particularly prosecutors in criminal cases, due to his staunch defense of the Bill of Rights as essential for preventing a descent into totalitarianism. During his time as a judge, he presided over approximately 150 jury trials split evenly between civil and criminal cases. Recognized by the Chief Justice for his expertise, he was selected to lecture other judges statewide on legal developments. About a year into his lifetime appointment, feeling somewhat restless, he decided to leave the bench and return to private practice. It was during this period that he crossed paths with Roger Ailes, the chairman and chief operating officer of CNBC, through a chance encounter facilitated by a Princeton classmate. Their meeting took place even before he officially left the bench. Ailes, intrigued by his remarks during a press conference, approached him about potentially providing legal commentary for a high-profile trial in California involving Judge Lance Zito in the O.J. Simpson case. He was joining CNBC under Ailes' leadership. He became acquainted with figures like Neil Capodoll Rivera. However, when Microsoft and General Electric formed MSNBC without offering Ailes to presidency, he departed CNBC and founded Fox News with Rupert Murdoch. Many from CNBC, including him, followed Ailes to Fox, driven by their belief in his vision despite the uncertainty surrounding the venture. Throughout this period, he continued to practice law part-time alongside his media commitments. He adapted quickly to the television environment, finding mutual affinity with the medium and with Roger Ailes, who eventually approached him about his appearances on other networks, insisting at peace to continue unless compensated. Consequently, Ailes started remunerating him with a piece. However, the logistics of keeping track of his appearances became cumbersome, leading Ailes to hire him at an incoming television rate, which to be quite generous. Over the course of 24 years, he transitioned away from practicing law, being fully integrated into Fox News with an office, an assistant, and a producer. He became a staple on air, appearing roughly 5 times a day, 5 days a week for 11 months annually, totaling approximately 14,500 appearances. As Fox's chief legal commentator, he played a central role in the network's coverage of major after-legal events, from Bill Clinton's impeachment to Donald Trump's first impeachment. His day typically commenced at 4:05:30 in the morning, starting with Fox and Friends, and continued throughout the day, often receiving last-minute calls for assignments. Concurrently, he taught constitutional law and legal philosophy at various law schools, including Seton Hall Law School, Delaware Law School, and Brooklyn Law School, where he honed his ability to explain complex legal concepts to both students and jurors, acknowledging Fox's broad audience appeal. He emphasized the importance of making legal topics accessible, often aiming explanations towards what he termed the beer and pretzel set, catering to a general audience rather than academic elites. When explaining legal matters, he recognized the importance of engaging a broad audience, not just legal scholars. He understood that clarity and a touch of humor were essential to keep viewers tuned in. He was mindful that many might switch channels if they couldn't grasp the discussion. His 24 years at Fox News were marked by satisfaction until Rogers' departure and subsequent passing, which coincided with new management restructuring that led to the departure of many older staff members, possibly including himself due to perceived views on Trump. Fox's alignment with Trumpism eventually caused them dearly in a lawsuit. Since leaving Fox, his podcast has experienced significant growth from 93 to 265,000 subscriptions on YouTube, 250,000 to 500,000 on Facebook, and around 700,000 to 800,000 on Twitter, with a weekly audience exceeding 1.25 million viewers. His audience leans towards anti-state, anti-war, and pro-individual liberty sentiments, with a growing interest in foreign affairs, particularly in regions like Ukraine and the Middle East. Although his expertise lies in constitutional law, he's ventured into discussing foreign affairs, resonating with a wide audience concerned about the impact of wars on debt, personal freedom, and government. He disclosed personal details, including being unmarried, emphasizing his commitment to fitness and health routines inherited from his father, who valued self-taught expertise in electronics during the mid-20th century. One of the reasons he held Roger Ailes in high regard was an unparalleled understanding of television production. Ailes could navigate a control room with the expertise of a seasoned professional. Regardless of his executive status, impressing with his technical mastery, a trait rarely seen in television executives. In conducting unnotable interviews, he recalled encounters with individuals like Donald Rumsfeld and Howard Stern. Despite Rumsfeld's contentious persona, he found satisfaction in dissecting his arguments, vividly recalling an interview where Rumsfeld was visibly unsettled by the exposure of his past associations.